here is the most unbelievable list of the 50th greatest hip-hop album covers of all time. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion with your guy Oleezeh. Don't forget to subscribe. Now this is in celebration of hip hop's 50th year anniversary, and Hiphopdx and Hiphop Wired have collaborated to put this list together to show the top 50 greatest hip hop album covers of all time. But let's get straight into it, people. It's not in order, but here's the list that they've compiled together. A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory in 1991. The designer slash photographer was Nick Gamma, Gene Kelly and David Skilkin, aka Zombards. So what happened was, apparently Q-Tip wanted a painted woman in a certain style to go on the album cover. And I think the actual picture kind of goes with the style of the music that was actually on the album. Next we got ODB, Return of the 36 Chambers, the dirty version in 1995. The photography on this one was Danny Clinch. But obviously this is just his ID card, so there's not much really to do in terms of photography. But in a time where everyone was trying to be glitzy with the gold chains and platinum chains and the diamond rings, ODB was kind of trying to move opposite, and he tried to make it a bit more grimy. He grew up poor, so he was on welfare, so he wanted to show that raw side of him. And the story is that it actually was ODB's idea to show that he wasn't all rich and he wanted to just keep it real. Coming in next was Nas Illmatic in 1994, and the designer photographer was Amy McCauley. This is the classic album cover as Nas as a 7-year-old boy, and then the backdrop is like fused with his projects in Queensbridge. Well, the original picture was obviously taken by Nas's parents, but you know what I'm saying, the photographer merged the projects with Nas's picture. But Nas originally wanted to make album cover picture of Nas putting Jesus in a headlock because of that classic line Nas made about when he was 12 years old, he went to hell for snuffing Jesus. That classic Nas line from back in the day. Next we got Lauryn Hill, the classic album The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill in 1998. The album package photographer was Eric Johnson, and this was a really cool creative album cover because obviously it's about the miseducation, it's called, and the album is kind of looks like a desk with the pencil in that gap bit where the desk used to. I don't know if desks are like this anymore actually, but that's how it used to be back in the day. And next we got the Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die, one of my favorite rap albums of all time. Came out in 1994, and the photographer slash designer was Michael Levine. The word back then was Biggie copied Nas's album cover by putting a baby on the front cover, and I always thought this was like Biggie's kid or Puffy's kid, but apparently it's not. It was just a random kid that came for casting. But yeah, just thought if anyone didn't know that, it's not actually Biggie's kid. Next we got Outkast Stankonia in 2000. Art direction and design was by Mike Rush, and the photography was by Michael Levine again. Me personally, I didn't think this album cover was that amazing, but it's cool, it's interesting. But apparently it was Andre 3000's idea as well. But he had the idea of like making the American flag black and white, and then like Outkast was bringing the color, which is a cool kind of idea in my opinion. But next we got Lil' Kim, Hardcore in 1996. This was a breakthrough, groundbreaking kind of album. And again, the designer photographer is Michael Levine. This guy was making money off hip hop, that's for sure. You know what, for the album to be called Hardcore, her posing on the album cover isn't as raunchy as you would imagine for Lil' Kim, because we all know that classic pose she did, which is too much for me to describe right here, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, next one is Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. This is one of my favorite, actually my favorite Kendrick Lamar albums actually. I think it's better than his first one. But this came out in 2015. The photo was done by Dennis Rouvra. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sounds French. But Kendrick actually had a contribution to the art direction as well. Very cool album cover with all those faces and individuals in front of what looks like the White House. It probably is the White House. And I think it suits what the album was kind of sounding like. There was a bit of rebelliousness and political side to the album. I think the best album covers resonate with the actual album. Next we got Tyler the Creator, Flower Boy in 2017. The designer photographer was Eric Wright. Yeah, not Eazy-E for anyone thinking this was 2017, people. But Eric Wright, yeah, was a photographer. This is a cool album cover. Super creative, that's for sure. And Tyler the Creator apparently is always very hands-on with his album covers, with all the artwork. He actually gave Eric Wright the sketches from his own sketchbook and just basically explaining what he wanted to convey on his album cover. Next we got J. Cole, K.O.D. That was a super good album in 2018. Cover art was done by Camus Haroun. It's kind of a freaky album cover, to be fair, but it just looks cool. Sometimes an album cover doesn't need to say something, but sometimes it just looks cool. You got like ghostly ghouls, you got all these little kids pictures, and it's like the guy with the crown on it, J. Cole, something like that. Interesting anyway. But the story is, J. Cole gave him the remit for what he wanted, and they were watching some like sports game, and the designer basically put it together. Next is 2 Live Crew, Nasty As They Wanna Be in 1989. Now this one, kids, don't watch. Yeah, this one's a bit explicit for album covers, but as you can see, there's some good things to see. Next is Tupac the Don Killuminati, The 7 Day Theory. This is a sick album cover. I love this one because there's always this thing about Tupac being almost Jesus-like, Christ-like, especially when he died initially. Obviously, Christians or people might find this a bit blasphemous. Fair play, it is. But it is, in terms of creativity, it is kind of cool. We got 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. This is a really very underrated, but very simplistic album cover. Obviously, 50 was shot multiple times, so you can obviously see the bullet hole through glass. 50 looking all muscular and chiseled, which made him look like some thug machine almost. Next we got A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders in 1993. Similar to the other one I mentioned earlier, it's got that same woman figure in the middle, and then it's got these faces in the background. Creative again, still dope. Next we got Big Sean, one of my favorite rappers of the last like 10 years. Definitely gotta do an episode on that, yeah, because he doesn't get the respect he should get. But the album here is Detroit 2 in 2020, follow up to that mixtape he did, Detroit, which was sick. Unbelievable mixtape. Yeah, it's interesting. I like the graphics of it. People above him playing like drums and stuff, and then Big Sean's just standing there like a don. I wouldn't put it as a top 50, but it's cool. Next we got Boogie Down Productions, By All Means Necessary. And you got KRS-One with that gun looking out the window, like basically copying that classic Malcolm X picture with Malcolm X with the gun. Next we got Busta Rhymes, underrated rapper right there. Extinction Level Event 2020. This was a really good album, especially the first part of the album. Really good. He's so underrated, it's crazy. But yeah, Busta Rhymes comes in next. Not sure what's up with that that picture though. Bit horror movie-ish. But obviously he's got the COVID mask. This was during COVID times. Next we got De La Soul. De La Soul Is Dead, and this was in 1991. Very artistic. A plant that's dead. It's got 3 sunflower things dead. Obviously 3 members of De La Soul. I'm gonna guess that each dead flower means each member of De La Soul. I could be wrong, but let's move on. DMX, Flesh Out of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood in 1998. I mean, classic X. I mean, the man's dripped in blood with a trail of blood behind him like it's a Carrie film. Yeah, ain't nobody like X. Nobody was like X. And then we got Dr. Dre, The Chronic, came out in 1992, that classic West Coast album which spawned so many hip-hop classics. I mean, I wouldn't call it as one of the greatest hip hop covers. It's iconic because it was a great album. But as an album cover, it's just Dre's face. I mean, you let me know in the comments what you think about that. Alrighty then. Next we got Drake. Take care, as they would say in the South. Take care, but now this is Take Care. 2011. This is kind of seen as Drake's best album. Do y'all agree? I think so. It's definitely better than his recent thing. It's getting slated online. Yeah, this is a cool album cover actually. I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing creative about it. He's at a table, there's a candle, and there's just Drake. But yeah, it's a cool album cover. I like the artwork and the color scheme. Next we got the Slim Shady LP in 2009 by Eminem. You know, Eminem used to always talk about killing his wife in particular. So he's at what would you call this? The harbor or something like that. Some sort of place where there's water and there's like feet sticking out of a car boot. Or you guys in America will call it a trunk. Next we got Eric B and the legendary Rakim. Paid in Full, 1987. Boy, taking it back. Even Rakim's got hair back then. But yeah, that's a cool album cover. This is probably one of the most iconic album covers in hip hop history. You got the dollar bills at the back, in the background, and you got Eric B, Rakim holding the money. Look at their chains, gold watches, bracelets, and obviously the Paid in Full in red. I don't know what's up with the outfits though, to be fair. I don't know, maybe that's an 80s thing. But yeah, this is a dope classic album cover. Next we got the Fugees, Fuji La La La, with The Score in 1996. Classic album. Classic. I love the way it's all black in the background. And then you also got the three members there looking in different directions, different angles of their faces. I'll probably say this is an iconic cover. Not that there's anything creative about it, but it's just iconic. Everyone loved this album. Next we got Gangsta with Daily Operation. Very underrated rap group in my opinion. And Guru is a very underrated rapper. But I like the artwork here. You got DJ Premier in the background doing his thing. I like the political aspect about it with Malcolm X in the back. The other ornaments in the back, the skull head, the globe, and what looks like a black warthog or something like that. That one's a bit spooky. But yeah, and then Guru just repping like that hip hop look with the chain and the hat and all that. Cool. We got Gucci Mane coming in next, y'all. Everybody Looking in 2016. You know what? I'm not even familiar with this album cover. But this is recent Gucci. This isn't the Gucci drinking lean and overweight. Got his back all ripped up. That's probably why he wants to do this, like show off his muscles and all that. We see you, Gucci, staying in shape. Well done to you. But this is kind of cool. I don't know what it means. Are we supposed to see faces in that colored painting over there on the wall? It's kind of interesting. Next we got Jay-Z, The Blueprint 2001. Very creative. I like this one. I like the Jay-Z's kind of looking like the boss with the cigar sitting on the table. You got all the ornaments on the table, the mic and all that. And then you got all his little, looks like his gangster soldiers standing in line there, waiting for his command. And obviously the album is bluish, Blueprint, get me. Next we got Juvenile, 400 Degrees in 1998. Juvenile was never really the biggest Juvenile fan, to be fair. But yeah, I remember Cash Money back in the days to do these kind of album covers. Probably was the same designer because they all look quite similar. They're all kind of crazy really. It's a cool album cover. It's very creative. Definitely noticed this. Next we got Kanye West, Graduation in 2007. This is definitely cool. You could tell a lot of work's gone into this. Kanye always liked using this teddy bear thing. I think it's a college sort of, I mean, you lot in America will know better than me. It looks like a college theme because he had it in the first album, the second album, the third. But I like the animated aspect of the artwork, and everybody's throwing their graduation hats in the air. Man, I'm just noticing that now, you know. I didn't even notice it when it came out back in the day. But that's cool. I like the creative aspect of that. Next we got Kanye West Yeezus in 2013. And don't forget, this is not in an order. It's not like a countdown. But this is not a creative album. I mean, it's cool in a sense because it looks like a CD. But come on, man. Anything's got to be more creative than this. I like this next one, Kendrick Lamar, My Morale and the Big Steppers. His last album he put out. Shows Kendrick as a bit of a grown man now. Not sure about the Jesus thing on his head, but I like the simplicity of it. This is my sort of type of album cover because it's just very simplistic. It's not with all these graphics and stuff. I mean, the album wasn't great. Let's keep it funky. And he's disappeared since then. But yeah, Kendrick is Kendrick. Next we got Lil Wayne, the classic album with a Carter 3 in 2008. I like this one. It's similar to like the Biggie Nas one where he's like, as a baby, put it on the album cover. I actually thought, I don't know, this is really Lil Wayne as a baby. Obviously the tattoos are put on by technology, but it looks just like Wayne, but just a baby version. Like, I gotta do my research. I like the way they put the tattoos on the baby thing. That's pretty cool. In a big suit and like a Don ring on his pinky finger. That's cool. Then we got LL Cool J coming in next with Bad. This was in 1987 when there was no color TV. Only joking. Of course there was. But yeah, it's a cool album cover. I've seen it before. I've never really studied it before. But yeah, he's like looking all street with the colors, the red and the black. Trainers are kind of interesting. And then he's on like some gates. I just realized he's standing on a car too. You can tell I'm not from the 80s. Alright, next we got Ludacris. Yo, Ludacris, underrated MC, underrated artist. This album, Word of Mouth, in 2001. This just epitomizes Ludacris' career. Look at the graphics on Ludacris. Look at the dog. It's comedic, it's wild, it's loud, and the money in his hand. It's just typical Ludacris. Everything is just extra. And even where they wrote Word of Mouth, just typical Luda crazy. Next we got Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor. This is a rapper that I never really fully got into, you know. I didn't even really realize when he retired from hip hop. He had that good start to his career with that Kick Push song. But this is cool. I mean, I like, you know, he's in space with like a stereo and laptop and all these type of gadgets around him. Doesn't really make sense to me with the Food and Liquor bit with the album cover, but hey, it's alright. Next we got Mac Miller, R.I.P. Mac Miller. He was one of my favorite rappers of that new bunch of rappers in that era. But the album was called Faces in 2014. It's an interesting piece of art, not knowing exactly what it means, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's a cool one. Let me know in the comments if you know what this means. You probably know it if you're a Mac Miller fan. I can't quite gauge what that's about. There's like a table. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and pretend. I'm not gonna try and guess either. We got Missy Elliott next, Super Duper Fly, in 1997. In the same vein as Ludacris, Missy's videos and album covers, well, particularly the music videos, were always quite creative. This one isn't the most creative, I would say, but I like the font of the Super Duper Fly bit. Very simplistic, but I like the color scheme of the cover. Next we got Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, in 2018. This is his classic album that everybody basically goes on about. It's a cool album cover as well. Next we got NWA. Now this album cover is classic. This is iconic. I can't even call it just classic. This is iconic. Straight out of Compton in 1989, where there were no color TV. Okay, I'm joking. Okay, yeah, this album is cool. You know, you got all the members of NWA there. You got Dre, you got Ren, Yella, Easy, Cube. There's a story behind the other guy who's there. He was another original member. Why he's not rapping on stuff on it, I can't really remember. If you know, get in the comments, let me know, remind me, because I've forgotten it in my old age. Next we got Outkast, Aquemini, in 1998. Yo, this is an album cover that I would say is very creative, very different. Looks like something from the 60s and 70s. Gangster sort of suits and the hats, and just the whole color scheme is really cool. And the font of the actual album title as well. I don't know about the two ladies in the afro behind the chair doing. They look like they're scheming. Alright y'all, we down to the final 10 album covers. And this one is The Far Side. Bizarre Ride to the Far Side in 1992. I like this because the album cover title goes with the picture. Like obviously they're on a ride, some sort of funfair ride, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Next we got Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet in 1990. Obviously Black Planet is a different kind of meaning for what it means in science, because obviously Public Enemy are all about black power and stuff like that. That's a cool flip of words anyway. The album cover with the planets is I like it, because then they got like a gun aiming at a planet that's black, and it's got like a figure on there, almost like the powers of be trying to kill the black man. Actually really cool. I never really thought about it before. Queen Latifah comes next with All Hail the Queen in 1989. Yeah, that's when she was in her black power thing. Yeah, you got Africa on the album cover. Simplistic. I do like simplistic albums, but you know, you just gotta love Queen Latifah anyway. I wouldn't say I love this album, but you gotta love Queen Latifah anyway. Next we got Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. This definitely goes into that iconic status album covers. People love this album. This is a hip hop royalty albums. Only Built for Cuban Links, 1995. It's got Raekwon and then Ghostface on there. This was sick. Not just as an album, the music was sick, but like the album cover is cool. I just like the color schemes, the two of them on there. Next we got the legendary Redman, There Is a Dark Side in 1994. People forget how long this guy's been around, man, because he was around in the 2000s as well. But yeah, I like that. That's really cool, man. The guy's coming out the ground shouting, which doesn't really show Redman as an artist. Like, it sounds like looks like someone's angry. But Redman is not an angry type of artist, but it's just a cool concept. He's coming out of the ground. Next we got the classic Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style in 1993. This again is iconic. You talk about iconic album covers. This is an iconic album, and it matches the iconic album cover. It's cool though. Look at the dog catcher at the back, scared to catch Snoop, and then you got Snoop reaching for some tail. I mean, it's classic. It's whoever did this needs to get knighted or by the Queen or King or something like that, because this is pretty classic. Definitely top 5 iconic hip hop albums. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Paper Trail, T.I. in 2008. This is after T.I. was like suspected to have been snitching and all that stuff. This is a really cool album cover. In terms of recent albums, this definitely is the most creative I've seen, because you can see it's all made out of supposed paper trail. Yeah, this is really cool, and it just made up T.I.'s face. This is arguably the best, probably top 10 I would say, if I had to choose. If I was to put this in a list of top 10 album covers, this might make it in terms of creativity anyway. Tierra Whack World 2018. Okay, Whack World, I gotta say, whack art cover. I'm not a fan of this one. Let me know in the comments if you agree. This is just random and weird. But I guess, you know what, to be fair, it's meant to be a weird album cover, so that's why it might make sense to you lot. Next we got Travis Scott, Astro World. This is a really cool one. I like this one. I'm not the biggest Travis Scott fan, even though he's talented. He does make good music, but it doesn't fully make sense to me. But it's like almost like a theme park kind of thing. You go into the Travis Scott mouth and pause, and and yeah, you're gonna have some fun, I guess. Kind of weird in a way because there's kids there. But anyway, we move on. Tyler the Creator, Wolf in 2013. This is a classic, this one. He was such an odd guy, but very creative guy. Probably one of the most creative rappers we've seen in hip hop ever, especially in the last 10 years. there is the list from Hip Hop Wired and Hiphopdx, 50 greatest hip hop album covers of all time. Let me know in the comments, people, if you agree, what is missing from there, what shouldn't be in that list as well. And if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another episode of Fresh Hip Hop Opinion. We got daily videos coming to you lot, and don't forget to check the description below also. But like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment on what you thought about the episode. Peace and love.